Hey you guys, it's Maymay and look at this adorable, tiny, little sophisticated satchel. Last week when I uploaded my full-size version, several of you asked if I had a smaller version about half the size, and so I have created one and I'm going to share it with you today. Now, as you know, this is video number 1 in Christmas in July for 2024, and so as cute as this one is, I'm going to make one that is even cuter in this video. And if you stick around to the end, I'll compare this one to the full size so you can see them side by side. Let's get started. So you guys know I typically do these little templates for you, and I did one today as well. And this purse starts with 2 pieces of 6 by 6. Now I'm going to put this into my trimmer just so I can make some pencil marks to start. This piece is 6 by 6, and I'm going to make 2 half-inch marks up here at the top. This is just like the first purse we did. If you'd like to see that one, we'll link it for you. But see how I'm doing these half-inch in on either side marks? Then I'm going to come up to the bottom down here, and I'm going to score this 2 inches from the bottom. So I'm just going to use my trimmer here because it's sitting here and it's a little easier. So I'm going to score this 2 inches up. So that is what we're doing. It looks just like this. And now from this pencil mark to this score mark, I want to make an angled cut. So I'm going to put that onto my cut line, pencil mark to score mark. And then I like to sink the blade and go up and then down to get a good even cut. And you can do that as well. So we're going to do both sides. Pencil mark to score mark. Sink that blade. And this is what we're looking for, this shape. And we need this twice. So I'm going to do that one more time. Now, if you're watching me today for the first time, or if you don't remember, don't stress about all the measures and the pictures of this little piece here. All of that is going to be included in our blog post for you guys. So just open the Show More section under this video, and you'll have a link to our blog post. So you can go get all this information when you go to make them again. All right, 2 of these. Now we need a side piece. So to make the piece that will hold the purse fronts together, you're going to need a piece that is 3 by 6. That's how tall this guy is. And we're going to score it first at 2 inches. So I'm going to put this here into my trimmer, but I'm going to score it with my score blade. So score that at 2 inches. Then we need to make some marks. Now, if you made our first purse, you're going to recognize some differences here. This first mark we're going to make, instead of being 1/2 inch, it's going to be 1/4 inch. So I'm just going to come to my cut line and make a pencil mark that is 1/4 inch. Then I'm going to move it over to 3/4 inch and make another mark. We're still going to have a 1/2 inch piece here to fold around and hold our purse together, but we don't quite want to make it as sharp on the very end. That's why we're doing 1/4 inch here. And then I'll move it to 1 3/4 here. See how quick this is? Because you can just do it all in your trimmer, and that will really save you time when you're going to make, 150 of these for Christmas presents, right? Who knows? Who knows what you might make them for? Be super fun. You got plenty of time because it's July. And like I always say, crafters craft for Christmas, not at Christmas, right? So we can get done ahead of time. All right, so there is the first step. We trimmed from that 1/4 inch mark to the score mark, 1/4 inch to the score. Now we need to come down here and do a little editing. Do you see this little mark here where I've cut away those little sections? It's the very same as our other purse. We're going to take 1/2 inch off up to our score mark. And if you remember, our score mark is 2 inches. So I'm just putting this in my trimmer and running my trimmer blade to 2 inches. And then I'll be able to just snip that off in just a minute. So if I pull this out and flip it over and then go back 1/2 inch in, okay, and then I'm going to go down to 2 inches. If you're going to make a mistake on this part, you want to err under the score line. Let me show you what I mean. You don't want to go over your score line. If you're going to err anywhere, go under, because we can make that snip with our scissors pretty easy. So I'm just going to go like this and just finish that up to my score mark like that. Then I'm going to cut this guy away, just like so, and cut this guy away. So easy to do. Now you've made yourself another mark. We have this little notch in and that little pencil mark there. What I want you to do here is score from pencil mark to cut notch. You see how I have that laying? I've got this piece hanging over the cut edge, and make sure you're scoring. Ask me how I know, be sure. Then I'm going to flip it around, and from notch to pencil mark, here to here, I'm going to score again. Now, you guessed it, you need one more of these. So that is the first one. Let me make another. So we just had Craft Acropolis, and after this video went up on Tuesday night, I already had Made-Its at our event that had made the bigger purse, and I was like, wow, that is so cool. I love to see you guys making things that I show you on YouTube, so it was really cool to see it in person. So this one, you guys will have to make, and just make sure you post pictures of it to my customer gallery so I can see what you're creating. That's the next best thing for me. Now we need a couple more pieces. Now this purse I'm making for this video is a little different than this one. This one I did all one color, and this embossing folder, I really wanted to show off the embossing on this one so you can see. There's a plaid up here and then the poinsettia at the bottom. We'll have all these products linked for you below too. But I wanted to do my next purse in a Santa bag because once I found this, it reminded me of Santa bags I'd made before, and so we're going to make this look like that. So what I'm going to do here is use 2 pieces of white cardstock. They are 4 3/4 long by 1 3/4 wide. Now, if you're going to do that for this purse, you want to use tone on tone, so everything's the same color. But for the one we're making today, we're going to use the white. So I'm going to put this into my scoreboard, and I want to score 1/2 inch from the top. You can do this with your actual scoreboard, but I am just letting this guy do all the work today. So you see there, I just wanted a 1/2 inch down, and I'm going to do that on both pieces. Now the next cuts you need are handles. Now these are 8 inches long, and I have these 3/4 of an inch wide. I may edit these. I haven't made this design yet, so we'll see what happens. But for now, that's what we're going to start with, and I'm not doing anything to them. All right, let's go back to our pieces. It's time to fold and crease everything. Now, one thing I do when I'm creasing, if I'm making a project that needs 90-degree folds like this, I don't really stress too much about creasing them down. I will just kind of fold them over and get them to stand at 90 degrees because that's what I need them to do in the finished product. But, and I'll show you a place where it's different here, on these little pieces, this piece we scored here, I need it to roll over the bag and be pretty flat. So this one will get bone folder creased. You don't have to remember that all the time. It's not that big of a deal, but if you're wanting to make a box or something like that, or like this one, for example, I just want this guy to stand up. If you just do this, you'll get that pretty stand and you won't have to fight it too much. If you do this and you crease it super tight, sometimes it can make the project a little loose or a little flat. We're not going to do that today. We're just going to do that. All right, let's assemble. So you can do this just like we did the first one. We're going to start with this base piece. Let me move some things out of the way. It's getting a little messy. I'm going to use art glitter glue, and I'm just going to apply glue to this little flap underneath our side, just like this. And then this piece gets glued on the flat section of our purse. So let me show you. We're going to put this down like this, and we're lining up our score mark with the edge of the purse out here. And we want to make sure that right here we don't overlap because we want this to be able to stand up straight. If I overlap my score mark, I'm going to get some resistance, and that's not what I want, okay? So this is how we're going to do it. I'll turn it over and show you. See how we lined that score mark right up with the edge there. Now I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Grabbing this little guy, and add some glue here. And I'm going to line the score mark up and also line up with the edge of that bag. So lift this up, make sure we're good. We're good there. Turn this over. We're pretty good here too. And then I'm going to press this down. Now I want to show you something. If you're hanging off here like I am, I'm hanging off a tiny bit. I'm going to go ahead and take my scissors and trim that away. I know that will cause me issues when I put my next piece on. So I'm just going to take these scissors and just run them right here. And you'll see I'm taking the tiniest sliver off, but that can affect us in the next section. All right, so we got that. Now let's bring our other piece over. And this time I'm going to apply glue here, slip it under like this. And when we close it up, we just want to make sure we can get that free movement right there. And we can. So let's put our glue on. Stick this under here like so. We're just lining it all up so it's even on the sides and in the back. And I like to kind of just slide that into place. These little guys go together so quick. They are so cute too. All right, now these sides are going to stand up and get glued to our pieces just like this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is apply glue to one of our little flaps here. This one right here is fine. You can also apply it to the side of the purse, which will work just the same. Then we're going to bring this down and just line this up together like this. Now, I'm noticing something on this build I did not notice in my last one, so I'm going to point this out to you. So if you have this issue, you can head it off. Let me get this one glued down and I'll show you. I'm noticing when I'm standing this up, these little corners are getting a little resistance. I really need to corner or angle cut those. So what I'm going to do is come right in here and just do a little angle cut to get some of that bulk out of my way. And you probably want to do this before you get to this point, but I'm just now noticing it, so I'm going to grab that out of there. I'm going to do it on this bottom one down here as well because it's going to cause me the same issue. And I just kind of skirted around it on the other side. All right, so back to closing everything up. So I'm going to run glue here this time, just right up the side of the purse. I'm just going to bring this guy into that. That's much better. I'm not getting that resistance at the bottom, which I should have paid attention to the first time. I love to do those angle cuts. I don't know why I didn't. In my first build, I didn't need them, but I can see how I do here. All right, let me show you why we did those. See how we got rid of that bulk right there? That's what we want. All right, I'm going to put a little glue here. Bring this guy down and line it all up. And I'm flipping it over so I can get my hand in there and press that into place. Then I can do this last little bit and close it up. All right, so here's what he ends up looking like. Super, super cute. I want to show you this. This is such a good place to show you. Do you see right here how I have this little lift? This is where I didn't do that angle cut. All the rest of them were angle cut and they go down like they should. This is why we do this. We get rid of bulk that pushes things away, pushes seams away. So what I'm going to do is come in here and snip and line all this up like it should be. But honestly, it would have been better if I'd have taken that bulk out from the bottom. Now, can I hide this? Yes, no one's going to notice it. It's no big deal. With a couple of snips, we're fine. All right, let's go back to our little white rectangles. And what we're going to do here is we're going to put glue on the inside of this flap. We don't have to angle cut this. I don't know why, but it didn't need it. It looks fine whenever we put it on. So now I'm going to take that flap and put it to the inside here and then float this in the center. I can see here what I'm doing. Okay, I'm floating that in the center just like that. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. So see that little piece? Isn't that cute? Okay, I'm going to do it over here with our second piece. Okay, let's talk handles. Now, you can put your handles on the front, have them curl around and do like this, okay? You can put them to the inside if you would rather, and then maybe even cover the inside. This might look really good glued to that little section there. I think that's what I'm going to do is glue them to that little piece. Also, you could corner round these or ticket punch these or scallop punch these and let them show on the front. That will be perfect too. I'm going to hide mine on the inside, but before I do anything, I need to curl this. Now, remember how I told you I wasn't sure if this is the width that I wanted? It's pretty wide and I'm getting a lot of resistance when I do this. I think I'm going to trim this down to 1/2 inch, which I was afraid was going to be too small. But looking at it, I think 1/2 inch might be the better option. And honestly, 3/8 might have been perfect. I could have done that, but I think this is going to be just right. I want this to feel a little more delicate. And honestly, you can change the look of your purse with your handle so easy. Isn't that better? I like the bend that I'm getting there. All right, so let's do this. Here's what I have to caution you about handles. When you're making your handle, you want to curve them like this, okay? So I'm bringing my edges forward so that they are basically the same when I flip it over. What you don't want to do is twist it. Do you see how I get the twist at the top? You want to make sure the same side of the strap is facing you. I don't really know how to explain that other than that, but that's how you want to do that. And let's put some glue. Now, because I want this to glue to the inside of the bag, I'm going to put glue to the front, just like that. And I'm going to place my first handle. If you need to measure, go right ahead. There's nothing wrong with measuring to get them the same on both sides. I'm just going to do my best eyeball situation here. So see what I mean by I ended it at the end of that little white? I think that looks good. So now I will apply glue to this front handle. And I'm going to turn it over like that. Okay, so I've got the same piece facing forward. The front of the piece is facing forward. And just eyeball these handles. You can scoot that into place with your glue. Now here's another thing I'll tell you, which is a good cheat. If you don't love your back handles, if you think they're slightly off or you don't love the way you did them, let those be the back and do the front better this time. They really do hide secrets because the curve along the top up here makes it really hard to see if they're lining up perfectly or not. So just, if you have to scooch one just a little bit, it's not going to hurt anything. Now that's the assembly of the purse, but there's a couple more things I want to do. I want to start by showing you how I got that embossed piece here. Let me show you. So I'm going to lift this little guy up right here and show you. These pieces are 5 3/4 by 3 3/4. That's going to get me exactly the size I need at the bottom to leave just a tiny border around the edge. And I'm doing this just like I did my big purse the other day that I showed you guys how to do. And what I'm going to do is just line this up and use my pen or pencil to make a mark where I want this guy to live inside of here. And I'm kind of lining it up with that white flap at the top. And I'm going to do one this way, and then I'm going to use it as my template. So I've got my pencil marks there. I'm going to come to my trimmer and trim from corner to pencil mark. This is just the easiest way to get the correct angle. If you want to measure, you can try that. But even when I measure, I tend to not get the exact angle that I'm looking for. So I'm going to do it this way. And it really doesn't take any time to do it. You just do that little number, line this guy up along the bottom, lay it into your trimmer and trim that side down. You can also do this with your scissors. I have done that as well. All right, and now let's trim this little guy. Now I'm going to take him to the embossing machine and emboss him, and I'll be right back. This is the embossing folder I'm using. It is the Spellbinders Poinsettia embossing folder, and it's the 3D one. Look how stunning that is. It is so beautiful. I cannot wait to use this on everything this year. We do have them in store, and I'll be sure to link them for you. But look how pretty this is to do this tone-on-tone situation. One thing it does too is if you don't have a perfect cut around the edge, it hides it. Isn't that beautiful on there? I just love it. So there's one. I'm going to glue this guy down. Now I will tell you, if you don't like assembling these when they're three-dimensional, you can absolutely do this when it's flat. Just glue this on before you build. Isn't that beautiful? I love it so much. Let's do the back side. This is the 49 & Market Christmas Spectacular Ephemera pack. I'm in love with this pack. You get 134 pieces in it. And when I was looking around for what to put on my purse, I saw a buckle here and a buckle here, and that's kind of what inspired this. You notice I had this one on the first one. Isn't that beautiful? It looks like it's just made for it. Today, for this purse we're going to do, by the way, this is what I do. I put them in these Spellbinders tray so I can keep up with them and also lay them kind of flat. But for this little Santa bag, this is the buckle that it's getting. I think this is going to be adorable on there just like that. Before I put that on, I want to use some foam squares to tack this down. So I'm just going to use a couple on either side. I like it having a little bit of lift. So I'm just going to put a little foam here and just send that over to hold it down. But that way it's not super flat and I get a little bit of shadow there. And I'm going to do it on this side as well. I'm not sure how this would go, but I think it would be cute to maybe emboss your handles too. I think that might be pretty. I don't know if it would change their stability, but I think it would be cute. All right, both sides look pretty good. Let me pick the one I want to be the front. I really like this side. So now what I'm going to do is glue my buckle on. And all I have to do is put glue on this side and then this side. There are so many pieces in that ephemera pack that are so cute. I just think this is going to be precious as a little Santa bag. Look at that, you guys. Oh my goodness. Look at these two together. They are so cute. Let me get the original one so you can see the difference in size. So this is the one we did last week together. I think it is adorable. This is the full size. You can see how big it is. And this is the small version we've done today. Now here's the thing. I would like to make one even smaller, but the smaller we get, this section gets thinner and thinner. So it makes it less and less things you can put inside. So if I made a smaller one, it might only hold a gift card or something flat, but these can hold all kinds of goodies. And I told you guys I wanted to tell you what I wanted to put in here. Listen to this. I think this will be so cute because I did like a kind of get well soon kind of situation. Wouldn't it be cute to put a little OJ in here, maybe a can of soup or maybe a ramen noodle or something like that? Maybe even some ibuprofen or something. Wouldn't that be adorable? Band-aids, things like that. And if you didn't put that in here, what about some get well soon cards for you to send out and put this on your bookshelf to hold all your cards? This one would be so cute with goodies for Christmas. If you had this at everybody's place when they came in and you had some little snacks in here, you could make some pretty good sized snacks to put inside as well. So here you go. There's our two little mini satchels. Now, if you love making paper purses, do I have the videos for you? I've been making paper purses for years. I'll be sure to link a playlist for you guys here. We will also link the video for you for this guy so you can watch it before you go. Hey, thanks so much for being here. Be sure to subscribe, give this video a big thumbs up, and until next time, bye now.